Hello, everyone. This is Mr Informal. Welcome back to my podcast. I am on my 33 edition Mr Informal Podcast. I am glad that you are listening to this, and we have 4 topics to be talk about in this podcast. Number 1, H&M, giant mass fast fashion, mass market retailer. Profits are down by 20%. That's a lot. Number 2, big one for the streetwear, for the street hypes. Supreme has been sold to an investor, Carlyle Group. Number 3, Paul Andrew for Salvatore Ferragamo. Salvatore Ferragamo has not been relevant since early 90s, maybe 80s, but they have not been relevant, so we'll see if Paul Andrew can turn it around. And the last topic for today, it is buying electronic devices, especially smartphones. You are paying more or less. And so it is a packed podcast, and so I cannot wait to tackle these and basically give you my thoughts on each of the 4 subjects that I will be talking about. And so let's start out with the first one. And so the source is from CNN Money. So I just read that on Thursday, H&M announced that its third quarter net profit fell 20%. Its stock price, which has fallen steadily since 2015, was down 5% on the day. So basically, they are saying that CEO Karl-Johan Persson, the competitive landscape is being redrawn, new players are coming in, and customers' behavior and expectations are changing. Not only that, a lot of customers are buying online nowadays instead of going to retailers. So that could be the cause of it. But here is a weird thing, or not a weird thing, I guess. They said that the company said it's expanding its online marketplace to more international locations such as Philippines and Cyprus. This year it opened stores in Kazakhstan, Colombia, Iceland, and Vietnam, and with stores in Georgia slated to open this year. So they are expanding. It's just the profits are going down, but I don't think they're in a bad spot. But I do think the fast fashion trend is going away, and it seems like they are focusing on their online marketplace, not online experience, customer service. They are probably, this is my guess, they are probably needing to change their interior design in their retailers, because whenever you go to an H&M, it's always packed full, not of people, but of clothes. I always think that H&M is one of the better, depending on the department or the design. They do have good quality clothes. It's not just some shitty clothing or bad quality clothing. They have some items that I do think that are top quality, especially the suits line, the dress shirts, even some of the jackets are great. They do have genuine leather items, so that could be another thing. But I do need to tell them, or I suggest for them, is that change interior designs, have good customer service in retail, because it's so hard to find a person working in H&M, especially if they know where the items are. Also have a good retail experience. Whenever a customer comes in, they want to feel like they belong in this store. They feel like they want to shop. And that's what's missing in these fast fashion, is that they just put clothes on and expect customers to buy. No, they need to have these customers need to have reasons for them to come back. But that's not the case. And so obviously Amazon are a big online marketplace, and they want to do same, not just Amazon, but they want to expand their market share, online market share. And obviously they're also expanding to different countries, but their core retail how should I say this, their core retail base are being ignored, and it seems like they're not willing to improve on it. We'll see in a couple of years if they do improve on it, but the trend of fast fashion is gone. That is absolutely gone. Now, will that come back? Of course. Fashion always rotates. It always comes back. But H&M seriously needs some rethinking and retooling as to how they want to approach the customers, especially designs. And oh yeah, what happened to their collaborations? I've been missing the collaborations. I really don't understand. That could boost up their own retail experience. So that's my take on that. So hopefully they could focus on their core business and also their core designs, make top quality, and especially made their retail experience much better. So on to this second topic, and it's a big one. Streetwear brand, or such an infamous brand, Supreme. Supreme has been sold to a private equity firm named the Carlyle Group. So James Jebbia, basically the owner of Supreme, says that we've chosen to work with Carlyle, who has the operational expertise needed to keep us on the steady path we've been on since 1994, per Business of Fashion exclusive interview. And so what does this mean for Supreme? Obviously they'll get amount of funds to expand. There could be stores, could be designs, could be collaboration, could be paying off designers, whatever it may be. So they'll have money or funds. Now, what does this mean in designs? Well, designs could be the same, nothing would have changed. Quality could be the same if they choose to. The Supreme was a private company, was a private held group, I guess. And so since you would consider this as selling out, no one really knows what the path of Supreme will look like. Does it mean that Supreme will be on Urban Outfitters, Zoomies, PacSun? Could it be in JCPenney? Could it be in online store? Could it be in other retailers? We don't really know. But it does make you cautious, and it does give you concerns that Supreme sold itself to an investment firm. Not only that, he says in the exclusive interview, we're a growing brand, and to sustain the growth, we've chosen to work with Carlyle, who has the operational expertise. I don't really know what operational expertise really means, because if you're operating or at a great pace, why do you need another investment firm? It's pretty obvious that you just needed them in regards to funds and money. And here's the thing. Alright, so he is also selling his stake to the investment firm. Now, he's probably selling off a huge chunk, and he's certainly making money off of this. Now, people been talking about, will Supreme be the same? That I do not know. But all I can say is that you gotta be wary when it comes to these types of investment firms, because they have shareholders that want to expand it. They want to make money. They want to expand at a rapid pace, not a slow pace, because Supreme is not a company that wants to grow at a faster pace. They want to do it slow and steady because they want to maintain the name, the reputation, and also the hype. The biggest hype they've had was Supreme and Louis Vuitton collaboration. Now, does this mean that Supreme will be joining the likes of old streetwear such as Sean John, Rockaware, Ed Hardy? That I do not know, but it does give you a point of concern, especially to those collectors who are fans of Supreme. But here's the thing: if you do have older Supremes that are not Carlisle Group, it does make your items be much more collectible and be much more sought after. This means the items that you have are only gonna go up, and it is interesting, but sadly that is what will happen. Onto this. And I've never been a fan of Supreme. I've never bought items for it. I mean, I understand the market. I understand that people like it, but for me, it's just not for me. And so that's my take on it. So the third topic is quite interesting. Paul Andrew for Salvatore Ferragamo. So ever since Salvatore Ferragamo has decided to hire 3 designers, that did not work out. Fulvio Ligoni, the women's design director, has left the company, so that means that leaves Paul Andrew, formerly design director of footwear, has been named creative director, women's collection. This is based on the New York Times article. He has now responsibility for the clothes as well as for all accessories collection and for the brand image. So, a representative of the Ferragamo Group has said Paul has a dynamic vision for the Ferragamo women, which he has demonstrated with crystal precision and success in footwear over the past year. Please note that Paul Andrew does not have the experience to design in women's, even accessories. He has only had design in footwear. Because apparently Salvatore Ferragamo has decided that maybe a trio of designers for a single brand was one designer too many. So it's pretty obvious that the Ferragamo brand does not know what they're doing in terms of management. It's also pretty obvious that the Ferragamo group does not have a brand identity. I really don't know what the hell they are. I really don't. I can basically identify Chanel, quilted design, Christian Dior, structured look. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Rick Owens, very loose, ninja style, very rap style, very cut look. I can basically identify these brands, but I'm not really I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not even entirely sure if Paul Andrew, Mr. Andrew himself, can even turn around Salvatore Ferragamo, because to me Salvatore Ferragamo is so into deep that they just are willing to hire anybody and they don't even know what direction to go to. Yes, they have the brand name. They have the name, and for some reason they don't even want to take advantage of that name, that they're so stuck in the past that they just want to make that Ferragamo look be a classic, and thinking that new and modern consumers are going to accept that. No, you as a brand must always evolve. Now, the worst part about this is that Mr. Andrew doesn't even have experience in women's design. So what can you do? I mean, what can this person do? It's pretty obvious that he's going to be a creative brand director. He's going to have other designs under him, and he's going to choose who has the best design. That's all it is. That's what's going to happen. Another thing is that the Ferragamo group also says that I'm confident with this new responsibility. Paul will now be the creatively unify all categories of the women's business with coherence and synergy, strengthening our brand identity. You don't even have a brand identity. I don't really get it. I'm not trying to bash Salvatore Ferragamo, but I really don't understand them. Yes, I know what they're doing. They're hyping this guy up. But the fact is that if I was Mr. Andrew, I would certainly pick and choose the correct designers. Correct designers, not great designers, but the correct designers that in sync with my vision or what I want the Salvatore Ferragamo men and women to be. You know, whenever you look at these videos or even people or celebrities, you don't hear Salvatore Ferragamo often. Even if you ask these old rich consumers, you never hear about Ferragamo. You always hear about Louis Vuitton, Dior, Chanel. You know, I can go on and on. We can even go on with DKNY. And if I was Salvatore Ferragamo, I would just take out the name Salvatore. Maybe I just make a new logo, Ferragamo. And I would not be surprised if Paul Andrew leaves. And I would actually feel sorry for him because he would be in a tough spot. Do I blame him taking the responsibility? I don't blame him because it gives him more money, but he's in a tough spot because he's trying to turn around a brand that has been dormant, and that is quite a steep hill to climb for him because he's in 3 positions. He's in the footwear, menswear, and also women's wear. That's tough. And so for the last topic for today, it's been trending. It's also going to be the trend in the next couple of years and in the future. Paying more for devices that have less features. We went from a lot of features to paying more, which that's how it should be, to now removing certain features that we ended up paying more. Such as the case of the iPhone 8, so we lose headphone jack and we're paying more, and we don't even get an upgrade with the battery. Same with the Google Pixel, we pay more losing the headphone jack, and yet we're still paying more. And for some reason consumers are accepting this, and there should be a complaint about it, there should be a rant about it, and it's not something I'm willing to accept. We also get to see devices such as Apple TV or these cable box and all these things. Again, we're paying more for less, especially cable channels. Are you serious? I mean, the quality of cable out there is just bad, especially the commercials. When the commercials are like a minute or two, it just takes too long. Recently, Netflix announced a new pricing plan. They have increased their pricing from $2 to $3 depending on the plan. Obviously, they don't have a lot of movies nowadays. They only have the original Netflix series, and they're starting to become basically a channel. To me, it's not worth it anymore, and yet there are people defending this, saying that it's still cheaper than cable. Well, that's pretty obvious because cable is basically have multiple channels. In Netflix, you don't get that. And yes, I do know that Netflix, you don't need to watch commercials, but why is it that back then it was much cheaper and they were okay with that? And Netflix is defending, saying that with these original content, we gotta pay more. Who said? You could always make a deal. So a lot of things are just happening lately, and as you can tell, we are paying more for devices. We are looking to battery packs now. It's getting expensive nowadays. I thought that every time I hear about new battery technology should be getting cheaper as technology goes down, but apparently not. It's rising, so that's unbelievable. We look at cars, especially the entertainment in the cars. All you have is touchscreens instead of knobs, so that's less materials. You would think that's cheaper because they're using less materials, but no, it's rising cost of buying these new cars. Especially these new cars are not as reliable as previous generations of cars. It's ridiculous. I'll give you another example. An example such as laptops. Laptops are getting expensive. Especially the good laptops. We're looking at 1500, 2000, 3000, even 4000 range. That is absolutely getting ridiculous. And you can't tell me that these type of devices and items are worth it, because in 2 years it's basically ancient technology. Technology has moved on already. And for us consumers to accept that, I find that ungrateful, I find that unfortunate, I find that sad. And we as consumers must always think before we buy. We always gotta buy new technologies. And we always gotta research new technologies, asking ourselves, will this technology last 2 to 5 years from now? If it doesn't, then it's not worth buying. If it only lasted you 1 year, it's not worth buying. It's getting to the point where these manufacturers are taking out features that we are using and then suddenly presented taking it out, and yet they raise up the price or keep the same price. If you're going to take out a feature, shouldn't it be much cheaper? I mean, that's how I see it. That's common sense. So that's just what I want to talk about for today, because money doesn't grow from trees, and you got to be humble. There are people out there in the world that can't afford these things, and you always got to make your money, your hard-earned money that you earn, that you save, worth it. You got to give it a good value. Not only that, you got to make sure that the items you buy are actually worth keeping, that could last longer, that could pay over time, that could pay in terms of use over time. And especially in cars depreciate the moment you buy it. Even in technology, cell phones, cameras, computers, they depreciate faster than you can use it. And so that basically concludes this Mr. Informal Podcast. I hope you enjoy listening to me. I hope you learned something and gained something new. If you have any comments, let me know down in the comments below. I'm always listening. I'm always reading comments, and I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.